What's up, you guys? Today I'm going to be talking about the sin of wrath. Now, I'm going to be continuing on my 7 deadly sins, playlist. Now, I know it says that the 7 deadly sins are a part of Roman and Catholic. That's not true, because these sins are also mentioned in the Bible. David, he committed the sin of lust. He was lusting after Bathsheba. He committed the sin of lust. Now, lust and pride and gluttony and greed and slothfulness and envy are also in the Bible. I'm not going to be getting into all of those yet. Basically, Goliath committed the sin of pride. He was standing tall and he was angry. And he also committed the sin of wrath because he wanted to take revenge on the Israelites. He wanted to kill the Israelites because he hated them. That's a sin of wrath. Now, let's continue on. So, the sin of wrath is basically explained as hatred or taking revenge on someone. And that's a sin of wrath. Like, say, if somebody picks on you, or if somebody makes fun of you, and you get angry, and you start hating them. Well, Jesus says that you should not hate. And hatred is wrath. Because hatred leads to revenge. And revenge leads to getting into a fight with them. And getting into a fight with them leads to even more trouble. Like some people kill them. Some people kill other people over the sin of wrath. That's why the sin of wrath is so dangerous. It leads to murder. Now, I'm going to be talking about how not to commit the sin of wrath. Because for some people, it's hard not to commit the sin of wrath. They have problems with their anger, they have problems with their emotions, or they get poked fun at all the time, or they got poked fun at their whole entire childhood, and they start hating those people that poked fun at them. Let me tell you this, my true believers, my prayer warriors. Don't pay attention to them. Pay attention to your Father up above. For how he says, "Have faith in me, and I will lead you through the valley of the shadow of death." And that valley is a very treacherous valley. It's a hard valley to walk through, but it leads to the gates of heaven. And would you really want to commit that sin of wrath that will lead you off that really thin path? Would you really want to commit the sin of wrath? Does it feel good? No. You're angry. Then you'll get depressed because of how angry you are and how much you want to hurt that person or how much you hate that person. Think about the feelings of the people that you're around. Think about the way that they would feel about you if you're so full of hatred and you're so full of vengeance to another person. Would they like you anymore? No, I tell you they would not. Unless they're just like you, then get away from that group. Look at the way that other people look at you. Look at the way that God looks at you. Look at the way your family would think of you. Would you really want to go through all of that trouble just to hate one person? No, you wouldn't. Next thing you know, you're hating another person, and then you're wanting to take revenge on that person. Then you're hating another and another and another. Next thing you know it, you hate so many people that you don't want anything to do with anyone anymore. You just want to sit alone and ponder on all that hatred that you have and wallow in that sin. And that's living in sin. You have a full-blown hatred for someone. And how to not commit the sin of wrath is to basically think of how Jesus and God would approach it. Number one, Jesus will approach that person with love and compassion and ask them, why forest thou doest this to me? Or why are you doing this to me? Why are you picking on me? You could ask them that, and they'd probably say, oh, because I want to. And then you could go back and think to yourself, should I really hate this person just because he's picking on me? No, you should not. You should be a believer, and you should follow what God says to not commit the sin of wrath. And you should step away from that person and think, I gotta be better than this. And then pray for that person. It's hard to do, I know, but it'll take some practice. You can't become a prayer warrior or a true believer in one day. I mean, it takes a long time. Number two, well, let's say that somebody steals from you, and then you're so angry at that person because they stole from you, and you start to hate that person. Well, that person's already gone. They have already run off. They have already taken what they wanted and left. You can call the police, and you can have them arrested, but I tell you, don't hate them. They're probably going through a lot in their life. Just pray for them. Pray that they'll come to the faith, and pray that they'll apologize for their sin, the sin of stealing. Thou shalt not steal, and thou shalt not murder. Pray that they'll obey that command, and pray that they come to the Lord Jesus Christ. Number two, let's say somebody talks bad about your family. I don't know really how to approach this one. This one's very sensitive. You should think a lot about your family. And you should think how much you love your family just to go through all of that trouble, to be so angry at that person, hate that person so much just because they said bad about your family. Just think, would your family really want you to hate somebody just because they said words about them? No, they would not. I know my family wouldn't. You should not hate somebody, some random person, just because they said bad words about your family. You should say this: Father, I pray thee, please forgive that person for his transgressions, for he knows not what he did. That's what Jesus says to pray. Pray for that person. Pray for the people that hate you so much, that are committing that sin of wrath, because they do not know what they do. Pray for the people who commit judgment and judge people, for they do not know what they do. I'm not going to talk about the other ways to commit the sin of wrath. That's way too far deep into it for me. I mean, there's murder, that's committing the sin of wrath. nobody wants to hear about that. I might do it in a later video, but I'm not going to do it right now because that's too sensitive of a topic for a lot of people. And most people don't want to forgive that person. But I gotta say to you, forgiveness is a way to let go. Is hating somebody really the way to live? Would that family member really want you to hate somebody all your life and live in hatred and sorrow while they're up in heaven in peace and looking down on you, wondering why? Why are you still in hatred? Why do you still wallow in sorrow? I'm in peace. Just think that way. Think that that person that is gone is in peace right now. And let go. Let go of all that has happened. And take a breath. And just pray that you will see them again soon. And to all those people that hear this, I'm sorry that happened to you. I probably don't know you. And I know I don't feel what you're feeling. But look to the Lord and don't wallow in sorrow anymore, because that family member is in peace, and God will bring judgment to that person that did it. And pray, but also pray for that person. I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, and this is talking about the sin of wrath here, but pray for that person. Pray, Lord, O Lord Almighty, please forgive them for their transgressions, for they know not what they did. I love you guys. And I know this was a pretty short one, a little bit shorter than the ones that I usually do. But this one was sensitive to touch on, because I know what the sin of wrath leads to. And I gotta say to you guys, it is a very dangerous sin to deal with. And I know it's hard to get rid of for a lot of people. I love you guys. I love you, my prayer warriors. Please come unto God and be with Him forever. And forever be a prayer warrior and pray for the people in need. God bless.